I started off as a painter, someone who loved painting, and out of grad school, there's someone that I went to school with who offered me a job to paint a mural with the City of Philadelphia Mural Arts program, and I had a great time. I loved it and put into a new neighborhood, a new part of Philly that I'd never been to, and really loved the experience of painting and then also being out in a community and kind of out in the world. And from then on, I've continued to do murals and teach, and still love doing them.
Aloha, my name is Michael Takemoto, and I'm a visual artist, and I also work at University of Hawaii, Maui College as an assistant professor in arts. That's my paying job, and the rest of the time I do my artwork and make murals.
My name is Ruben Quinteri. I'm 22, from Kihei, Maui. Yeah, I've done a few murals over here, mostly at like the skate parks and like other walls on school campuses. Yeah.
I was born and raised in California. I'm here for summer because my uncle lives here, and I came out here to visit him and my family and all that. So I'm here for like 3 weeks.
Cesar Valentimir Quesada. Oh, I've been doing it since I was a kid, and just kept taking art classes throughout high school and here at the Hui, and then I just went off to art school in Chicago.
Hi, Josh here. I'm at the petroglyphs at Oluwalu. Behind me and on the rock surface, there are over 70 petroglyphs of people, figures of animals, and other representations that were etched into the stone many hundreds of years ago. We're wondering, what do people really know about these petroglyphs?
What do I know about the petroglyphs on Maui? Yeah, I knew that there was some in Iao, but like, never knew there was any in the back of Oluwalu General Store, you know, deep in the valley. Should go check it out though.
Well, from what I understand is they were made by the Hawaiians as they stayed there on their journey either to or from the passageway to Iao Valley. That's my understanding of that. And while they were there waiting, they would carve into the stone these images, you know, representing themselves, animals, ships, and other significant things in their culture. Actually, I was so impressed by those petroglyphs that I've made, you know, many trips to the Big Island, where they have these incredible petroglyph fields that have, you know, literally thousands of characters, and those are really very remarkable too.
No, I haven't. I have not seen the petroglyphs in on the Big Island. I need to come back.
Growing up on Maui as a young person, I would go there quite frequently because I found that as a very inspirational place for me, both spiritually and as an artist. Like I said, when I was growing up, there was an actual kind of a parking area and rails that you could go up and, you know, walk amongst the petroglyphs. And I haven't been there in the last few years, so I'm not sure if the access is still available or not. I'd be interested in finding out about that more, but I am very familiar with the petroglyphs there.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a form of graffiti to me. It's pretty funny. It's like they're writing on walls and stuff like that. But that was like back in the day, and just leaving their mark. Yeah, it's cool. It's good to see that.
I'm here outside the Wyland Gallery in Lahaina on Front Street. We're wondering why the mural was taken down of the humpback whale that was made by Mr. Wyland.
He actually has a mural in Philadelphia, a whale mural, and I've seen it. I've seen his work all the way in Philadelphia, and I've heard a little bit about the whale mural here, but I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, that mural in Lahaina with that huge painting of that humpback whale, I think that was before I was born or something like that, because like I've never ever seen that painting. I wish I did, because I look up to Wyland too. He does like the hugest murals. That's what I like to see. Hawaiian stuff. But yeah, I really wish they didn't break it down, you know? It could have been like some famous landmark, you know, in Lahaina.
Yeah, I remember the hearing about the Hawaiian mural, and I believe I might have seen it briefly. It was a mural that was done on Front Street by the world famous marine artist Hawaiian, and it did have a bit of controversy at that time because some people viewed it as a big billboard, you know, promoting his artwork as a big commercial, and that, you know, really rubbed people wrong. Also, I believe the Lahaina Town Commission or Action Commission, I'm not sure what their name is, but the people who run Lahaina, not really run Lahaina, but who oversee the Lahaina's historical district, saw it as something that was defacing their historical district, so they weren't happy with it. So, oh, and there was something else too. I believe there was a tree there in front of where the mural was, and that either got cut down or trimmed without permission. So somehow this mural that Hawaiian did really upset a few people who had power and interest, and it's unfortunate that mural got painted over.
I'm here on the side of Hana Highway, where this concrete wall has been painted over with gray and white paint to cover up objectionable graffiti. In some areas, this type of graffiti is not acceptable, and it gets painted over by somebody either with a private organization or somebody from the county.
What do I think of graffiti on Maui? Yeah, Maui doesn't have that much like wall space, you know, or like enough city to get away with it. Like somehow eventually someone's gonna know someone, and someone's gonna, I don't know. That's what happened to me.
My thoughts are that it varies, just like there's some good paintings, some bad paintings. You can't really sum it up in one sentence. It depends. There's some just straight tags that I don't think are very interesting, and they're not on places where they're wanted, and there's some other ones that are in great places and are awesome and thought out. So,
well, I really admire graffiti art and graffiti artists. You know, as a young artist in the 80s, I was, you know, really influenced by the works of like Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring, who are, you know, street graffiti artists who, you know, became these world famous art superstars. And you know, I was wondering, geez, why couldn't that be me at that time? But fortunately, well, it was those artists that, you know, achieved that fame and recognition. And since then, I've really, you know, kind of followed what the artists, graffiti artists, have been doing, and really admired their works. Incredible things that they can do with the spray can and these large-scale murals as well. I think there's a difference between, say, graffiti and tagging. I mean, often you can look at, you know, graffiti has this long history that goes way, way back. I mean, you can go to the ancient ruins in Pompeii and find ancient Roman graffiti, you know, from 2,000 years ago. So this is nothing new. You know, it's been continuous, and people have always been wanting to, you know, make a mark on the wall, put their name on the wall. There is, you know, a place for it in the world. I think sometimes people have issues with tagging, and, you know, especially if there are things that have antisocial or violent sentiments or statements on them. I mean, they can be very, you know, degrading as well too. So there's, you know, there's that fine line.
Not enough like city, you know, to get away with like really establishing anything with your name, you know, or whatever you write or whatever you draw on the wall. Yeah, I can't really put a label on graffiti, you know, like street art. I don't know. It's cool though, like, I mean, Oahu is definitely like inspiring, just seeing all like the pieces people put their time into, you know? And like, that's why I like to go to Oahu just for inspiration sometimes, you know, for the graffiti. Like, I'm kind of like doing more contemporary art now. I try to do that, like Because with graffiti, you know, like especially here, it gets covered up within a week. You know, if it's like on a good spot or something like that. Like if it's in like a chill spot, it'll be there for like years. You know.
Last year here at the Hui, I worked with Prime from 808 Urban. He did a spray painting graffiti mural class here, and I think we made some stuff on canvas, and there was like lots of mural stuff within that.
I don't know. It doesn't take like thousands of dollars to do that. You know, like people that get caught, they get like charged. You know, it's so much, and it's just paint. You just paint over it. You know, that's what I think. It's simple. Paint can paint over paint. That's what I always think. But yeah, I feel bad for them. There's sometimes they like county workers. They get like helpers, like community service helpers or whatever. They have to go and like, you know, buff out all the paint and stuff like that. Like, I had to do that before, you know, buff paint.
One way that the county can say cut down on illegal tagging is to actually have walls or space available for taggers to come in and paint for themselves. And maybe this could be on an ongoing basis where people could come in and paint and tag, do graffiti, have it up for a month, have it repainted over, and have a new painting that goes up afterwards. I've heard of this program in Guam where that happened, and it seemed to have been, you know, very successful, where it would actually have a lottery system where artists and graffiti artists would, you know, submit their names to the lottery, and if their names were pulled, they were able to put a painting on the wall, have it up for a month, and until it was repainted over, and then the cycle would begin again. I think this is a very good way to cut down on illegal tagging, and also to encourage and promote the arts among the young people who really want to express themselves and show their works and share their works with the public.
I thank Mr. Takimoto for letting me do that mural, you know, MCC. I'm surprised it's not buffed over. Like, I seriously thought it was going to be buffed over. And I don't know, my art teacher from Maui High, she hooked me up with like a bunch of murals too. So her too, she's the bomb too, pretty much.
I really appreciate the one that is in Makawao by the library, because it's an interesting combination of, I think, imagery and graffiti. I think there's Queen Liliuokalani, and there's a girl next to a microphone. It's very black and white, neutrals, and then like a lot of like spray painted stuff too.
There's one with a bunch of flowers on it and like the ocean in the background. It's kind of cliche, but I like it because I'm not from here, but I don't know how other people feel about it. I think the use of color, there's a lot of pink and oranges and blues and stuff in there, so it really pops out. This project that I'm working on, the mural of myself, I feel like people will see me as a person and kind of get the colors like mix in my emotions and personality. Like the purple really justifies how I'm kind of quiet, but like I don't really mind talking to people. And the shadow is like I kind of keep to myself. So I feel like people will see that in my picture.
The most recent mural I did was in Lahaina. It's at this place called West Maui Gold and Loan. It's like a pawn shop. How I envisioned the painting was like nature surrounds us all, you know? So I got like, in the middle of the mural is like this giant island of cities and like buildings and stuff like that. And then like around the whole mural is just like waves and stuff that inspire me too, like nature-wise, like owls. I like owls. And yeah, there's just jellyfish and koi fish, and a lot to do with the ocean. I'm very ocean-oriented. It's kind of just a thought that like the nature was here before mankind built, you know, all this kind of crazy stuff. When I was doing it, I pretty much lived there. It was like this like furniture store that I could sleep in. It's so cool. So I stayed there for a few weeks, all day just painting, you know, like even at night, like 3 in the morning, like just neighborhood people would just come by and like tap me on my shoulder, you know, all scared, like, what the hell, you know? But a lot of people thanked me for what I was doing. It was kind of a good, like, motivator, because, like, this guy wanted to paint that wall for like 25 years, you know, and it was just like a blank brick wall that was super huge. So a lot of people were thanking me, like, oh, thank you for lightening up the neighborhood and stuff like that. And a lot of people take pictures in front of it. It's pretty funny, yeah.
So what we have here is a mural that I'm currently working on. This is at Kamali'i Elementary School in Kihei. Basically, this mural was commissioned by the school and also by the school's PTA. And what they wanted to do is to create an entryway mural for their students and the parents and the community to see. As you can see, we're right along the main road, so you know, it's a very high traffic area. The images that they requested were basically their school mascot, the pueo, and also they wanted to include some of their students as well. And at this point, like I said, it's still a work in process, but on the kids, they'll have a letter on each T-shirt representing, saying "Live Pono," or live in righteousness, live in harmony. Kind of the idea of the school. And also, there's on the books, some other pillars that they hold that are important to their school as well. And I hope to finish this next week because school starts in 2 weeks, so I want to get this done before school opens up. I do have other completed murals that I've done in the past. I think one of the most major ones that I did is at the Kihei Public Library, and it's right in the foyer as you enter the library. It's very large scale, probably almost as big as this one as well. That must have been in at least 15 years ago when I made that. I've also done a number of murals at the Kihei Elementary School, and some of those date back into the 1980s when I started there. And the latest one I did was last summer, which is in their cafeteria at Kihei Elementary School. So I've done a lot of murals at public schools. I do have another one at Pomaika'i Elementary School in Kahului, Maui.
So the mural has two sides, and this side more deals, I guess, kind of a sense of the ocean and sky that you get here, and also derived from patterns from different cultures, Japanese, Chinese. On the other side of the mural, there's an old Hawaiian boat and kind of a landscape, some reference to the land around here, which those are some of the big topics that came up. The future of the land here and the future of the ocean, and it's not clearly stated, but then again, I think things that are too clearly stated, I don't know, sometimes they're great, and sometimes I think actually to be someone who's going to be the one who clearly states stuff, you have to be in a place for a longer period of time to really point out specific issues of a place. So I think that's kind of where it is. That makes sense. Vibrant, lots of color, saturated color, and I think you take these windy drives here and suddenly you see fluorescent orange on a tree, and a tree that has several ecosystems growing into it. So there's a real sense of vibrancy and life here that's really pretty awesome.
Well, hopefully the mural that Shira is working on in collaboration with the Huia will, I think, be able to give a really accurate and strong representation of Maui and what the community really wants to see in itself, and further promote that maybe might not be being tackled in other murals or really at all on the island.
Just about this project, that it was a really unusual and kind of great experience to come to a place and first of all talk to so many people coming in and get a sense of the place. Unusual because I've worked in Philadelphia for 10 years and I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the city, and this was kind kind of just completely new, and I think the idea of exchange in like a broader sense, not just murals, is good for any place. And I think it was great to be able to come out here.
Hopefully there'll be more opportunities like this for artists to come and paint in public spaces. Hopefully more businesses and institutions will realize and understand the power of the arts, the visual arts, and encourage and offer their walls and locations for artists to make murals. This is going on in so many cities, across the world, and there's no reason why that Maui can't latch onto this as well. There's so many talented artists on this island that would really help beautify and help promote the arts, and I think it'll be a really important cause. So I'm hoping and praying for bigger and better things for Maui artists. One thing that's also important, I think, is that there's a lot of artists that have been coming in, to Maui to share their works and to share their styles as well, and learning their techniques, seeing examples of their work or what's going on, elsewhere where they're from is, very, very crucial, and it's going to, just enrich our own arts community at the same time.
Oh, I fully would like to see way more murals on Maui, not just by like graffiti artists, but like any kind of artists, all different kind of mediums. The future of Maui artists, I think, the more people get exposed to like some crazy art, some like eye-catching, mind-blowing, crazy art, like the more open they'll be, to like allow other people to paint on their walls. That's what I think. Like, of course, there's always going to be like ugly stuff, like scrabbles and tags and like just weird bathroom graffiti stuff. But there's also like really like crazy art, like that would look good on a wall, other than like just a plain wall, like that's like rotting, and have like some cool picture on it. Yeah, good for the eyes.
I think it's a form that will keep growing, I think, in different cities, but I think it's an art form that's dependent on public space, to some degree, a degree of funding and partnerships, between an artist and a community or some sort of other organization. So I think that, there's potential, but I think they've been used through time for, by like dictators. They've also been used by, revolutionaries. So I think that I'm sure they're gonna keep going, and I think that it's a great art form, and I think there should be one here in Hawaii.
Well, I'm just, like I had mentioned before, I'm just hoping the best and just want to encourage everyone to promote the arts and to look around yourselves, and we're just literally surrounded by art all over, and the more we see and appreciate it, I think it's something that really makes us human and unique. And this is, so very important in our society now, where everything is so mass-produced. Here, where you have works that are produced by hand, it's so much more important and so much more crucial, and makes life so much more worth living. So I hope you all understand that and appreciate that. Mahalo.